Many horsemen believe that becoming the alpha, dominant or leader is key in avoiding and solving unwanted behavior in horses. While this idea is often marketed as being natural, it is more based on our own desire to dominate non-human animals than actual facts. One popular misconception is that horses organize their group on the basis of a linear pecking order. We owe this belief to a Dutch animal behavioral scientist that in the early 20s observed a group of domesticated hens and determined that they organize their social group in order of the most dominant animal to the least dominant. So hen A will peck on hen B and C, hen B on hen C, and hen C was pecked by all but pecked on nobody. He believes that many animal groups such as horses organize themselves this way. However, linear hierarchies are not typically seen in feral or free-ranging horses. So how does hierarchy really work? First, we need to establish what dominance means. When a horse displays an unwanted behavior, we often hear, "That's a dominant horse, you need to become the leader." But contrary to popular belief, dominance is not a personality trait. Instead, dominance is a temporary, one-on-one relationship where one horse has priority access to one or more resources and the other horse agrees to concede. So for example, horse B has consistently conceded to horse A over food, and horse C has consistently conceded to both horse A and B over food. This means that horse A has priority access to food in the presence of horse B and horse C, and horse B has priority access to food in the presence of horse C. But it is not because horse A is dominant over horse B and C for food that it necessarily has priority access to all resources. For example, horse C suffers from a condition called sweet itch, and as a consequence, shelter is very important to him. Horse A and horse B both has consistently conceded to horse C over shelter, and horse B has consistently conceded over shelter to horse A. This means that horse C has priority access to shelter in the presence of horse A and B, and horse A has priority access to shelter in the presence of horse B. But it is not because horse A is dominant over horse B and C for food that he will necessarily prevent horse B and C from accessing food in his presence, as long as he doesn't see food as a scarce resource. Establishing a hierarchy is about deference and harmonious group living, not aggression. This means that domesticated horses who constantly fight over resources are behaving abnormally due to inappropriate horse management. Another misconception is that a single horse known as a lead mare leads the group across their home range and decides when it's safe to eat and drink. However, a recent study on movement initiation in feral horses did not find evidence for the lead mare theory. Instead, researchers found out that any member of the herd could lead, and the most motivated animal was the one to initiate movement. So for example, marches towards water are mostly initiated by lactating mare, as they require more water than other group members. Another study also suggests that friendship plays a role in whether or not the leader was followed, with the horses with the most friends being more likely to be followed. It's also important to note that leading is initiated by departure. This means the leader does not force the other to follow, and if a leader is not followed, he simply abandons the movement. To conclude, suggesting to horse owners that they have to become the alpha or herd leader is not only incorrect because of species difference, but also because the entire concept does not even fit with natural horse behavior. For articles on human, science-based horse training, check out ferhorsemanship.com. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos on horse training, behavior, and welfare. If you want to support my video, check my Patreon link in the description below. Have a beautiful day, and I see you in the next video.